Hello, American Crochet Association. Selena Baca here, founder, host, lead educator with the ACA. And on Tuesdays, I like to give you guys tips. Now, this particular tip today is not a brand new tip. It's one that we've been giving for a couple of years now, but it's an oldie and a goodie, so I thought it would be great to revisit this one today. We're going to go over 3 laundry tips for every crochet project. So if you're watching live, come on over, say hey, say hello, tell us where you're viewing from. And if you're watching on the replay, it's still the same great jam. And like I said before, this topic is timeless. So it doesn't matter when you're watching it. If you crochet, this is a great tip. Now, as you guys are following along, as you're watching, raise your hand. Tell me in the comments, have you guys ever crocheted something and then maybe it got a stain, maybe it got dirty, maybe you just used it so much that you thought, ooh, this could really use maybe a wash or something, right? So how many times have we made something and then thought, can I just throw this thing in the washer and the dryer? What should I do? And sometimes that can really be to the detriment of the product, right? Depending on the yarn, depending on the stitch you use, depending on how you finished or fastened off that project, you may not be able to just throw it in the washing machine and the dryer, okay? So today we're going to talk about some laundry care tips, not only for things that you've already made, but also these could potentially help you to maybe choose, better yarns, better ways to kind of go into the projects that you make. That way, whenever you make a project, you know exactly what the care instructions are. Okay, so that's what we're here to talk about today. All right, a few shout outs before we get started. It looks like Francis is here. Hello, Francis. So good to see you. Trish is here from Long Island. Francis says it's a cold, windy day here in Montgomery, Illinois. Arlene is here from Florida, and Elaine is here from Texas. Thank you guys so much for joining and for saying hello. I really appreciate it. Now, I've certainly made some mistakes whenever it comes to care instructions for projects, because just because you crochet an Afghan doesn't mean it's going to be like any other blanket you have in your house. You can just throw it in the washer and the dryer, right? As a matter of fact, whenever I think about how to care for my crochet projects, I think about maybe my favorite pair of jeans, or I think about my favorite top that I just got. Sometimes we buy clothes, let's think about it in those terms, and, we buy something and it fits great and it looks great and it's fantastic the first time we wear it, and then we go to wash it, and what happens? It shrinks. Maybe it tears. Maybe, the fabric doesn't feel as nice. It's ruined, and all we did was wash it, and we even maybe put it in a gentle cycle, right? So think about your crochet items in those terms. Think about your favorite shirt, maybe the pair of jeans that fits you perfectly, and if it shrinks even a centimeter, they're just not going to be the same anymore. So again, think about your crochet projects in those terms, and let's dive into the 3 tips today. You guys can read this entire blog post that I'm sharing with you guys today. It's quick, it's to the point, and there's even a cool printable that I'm going to share with you guys at the end that you can click on over and download whenever you like. Just click on the link in the video description. It will take you here. So that way you can get not only a rundown of everything I'm talking about today, but again, that cool little printable. Okay, so here are 3 of my favorite laundry tips, okay, that you guys can apply to any crochet project. Tip number 1, follow the label on the yarn that you're using, okay? Just like your favorite shirt, your favorite sweater, whatever it is that your favorite bedspread, not bread spread, your favorite bedspread, any kind of thing that might need to be washed, all of those things have a label. On this particular sweater, there's a tag right on the back. So think about those tags, right? Because we look at those tags to see how we can best care for our clothing, for the things that we have. Your yarn has a label, and there are care instructions on the label. So make sure that you're reading that care label and that you're following those instructions, right? Whatever the care instructions are for this yarn on this yarn label, you're going to follow those same care instructions for whatever you make with this. So whether you make a blanket with this, or a sweater, or some baby shoes, whatever you make with this yarn, it's all going to follow the same exact care instructions. And again, most yarn labels are going to have that information. It may be written out, or it may just look like some symbols like this right here, which you can easily kind of decipher and identify just with a quick Google search of laundry care images, right? So again, look at your yarn label, see what the yarn label says in terms of how you best care for this. And then you guys are ready for tip number 2. Here it is. It's mind-blowing. Some of you guys are going to be like, I don't like it, but really, I think it's a huge saver. Tip number 2 is make a swatch. And I can feel the groans. I can feel them. We hear the term swatch and we go, oh, I don't want to do that. That's not fun. Hear me out here, okay? A swatch for these purposes, it's going to accomplish a lot of things. But first and foremost, whenever you have a swatch, right? Let's look at this little swatch right here. It doesn't have to be the exact pattern, okay? We're not trying to fit gauge. We're not trying to make an exact size, right? You can use any stitch. It doesn't matter. The reason you make a swatch pertaining to care instructions is, it could be all single crochet. It could be all double, it could be whatever, right? You're going to make that swatch. It could literally just be a tiny little thing. You're going to follow the care instructions as per the label. So if the label says to you, you can put this yarn or the fabric that you make with this yarn in the washing machine, but it has to be on the gentle cycle and it has to be with cold water. And you have to use, fabric softener or something like that. I don't know, whatever the care instructions may say. And then maybe you can't put it in the dryer, or maybe you can only tumble dry on low for 15-minute bursts or something like that. Maybe you have to lay flat to dry. Follow the care instructions with that tiny little swatch and see what happens to the fabric when I follow these care instructions. That's going to give you a lot of determining factors about what you should or shouldn't do. Like, I cannot put this thing in the washing. If a little swatch this big stretched out 50%, there's no way I can make an Afghan with it. There's no way I can make a sweater with this, right? This may not be the best yarn to use. Alternatively, maybe you make that little swatch, you follow the care instructions as per the label. Maybe it shrinks 25%. Well, maybe I can make an Afghan with that, maybe, right? But I can't make that sweater that I wanted to make with this. Maybe that's not something that I can do. A lot of this has everything to do with the fiber content, right? Some fibers are just going to wash differently than others. Some fibers like wool may felt. Some fibers like cotton may totally stretch. Some fibers like acrylic may really soften after a really good washing. So again, just making that swatch and following the care instructions, it's going to tell you a lot about how the fabric is going to either be enhanced or is it going to deteriorate based on those care instructions. So you may tell after that swatch and the care instructions, you go, okay, I can only hand wash this thing and then I have to lay it flat to dry. And then after that, I'm going to put it in the dryer for 15 minutes. And then, those are the care instructions. If I choose to use this yarn to maintain not only the integrity of the fibers, but also to maintain the fabric that I'm creating so that it's not completely distorted, either smaller or larger, right? Okay. So last tip that I want to tell you guys today is, okay, after you follow number 1, read the label. Follow number 2, make a swatch. Thing number 3, this is the most important. Whatever you do, take note, okay? So after your swatch has gone through the complete laundry cycle, that you determine, okay, this works well. And you may need to make 3 swatches, right? With this swatch, I'm going to follow these care instructions. With this swatch, I'm going to follow these care instructions. With this swatch, I'm going to follow these care instructions. What worked, what didn't work? Take note, okay? Then make note of whatever's best. Because again, if you're making an Afghan that's supposed to be heirloom, maybe it's a baby present for someone and you want them to just kind of keep this baby blanket for forever and ever, for as long as possible, for decades, right? You want it to be an heirloom thing. It's going to have to maybe have some kind of care instructions. It might get food on it or dirt. It might be dragged through the backyard. It might get throw up on it, right? So there are certain circumstances in which we want to make sure that this thing lasts for as long as possible. So whichever swatch, it responds best to whatever kind of care instructions, take note of that. And what you guys can do is download these laundry care tags. Okay, we made them for you guys to You can save them, you can download them, whatever you want. You know, if you print these on some really nice cardstock paper, if you've got a nice color printer, or heck, take it to Kinko's, you know, or something like that. You know, print this on some really nice cardstock paper, cut them out, and you've got a really nice care tag that also works as a gift tag. So let's say you make an Afghan for your friend for their baby and you want it to last a really long time. The thing that you do is you take this care tag, you attach it to the swatch that worked best with whatever care instructions, right? And then you tell them on this swatch, you tell them what the material is. Maybe it's 100% cotton. Maybe it's 100% acrylic. Maybe it's 50% acrylic, 50% wool. Write on there whatever the fiber content is, because that's what your favorite shirts or sheets or blankets, that's what's going to be listed there as well. It's very helpful information, right? And then put down the best care instructions as per the swatch, right? That way they can have a swatch and they can go, okay, this swatch went through the washing machine under these circumstances. It went through the dryer under these circumstances, or whatnot, or whatnot. I use this kind of detergent or this kind of fabric softener or whatnot. List all that information, and that way not only do you have a nice gift for, you know, maybe it's something that you sell, maybe it's something that you give, but they have that little piece of fabric so they can see how it's going to wash, how it's going to wear, and they have the best care instructions to care for this crochet thing that you put all of your time and effort and love into. And that way, hopefully it can last as long as possible. All right, guys, those are my 3 laundry care tips. There's a little bit more information here in this blog post. And again, you guys can click on over and download these project care tags. And that way you've got this really nice way to assure that, you know, the love and life is really extended in those crochet projects. All right, let's see who else is here and what you guys have to say. Let me give some shout outs. Let's see. Jerry is here. Jerry Sue Tinker, so good to see you. And Jerry Sue, congratulations for being our member of the month at the American Crochet Association. I saw that post in our group this morning, and I was just so happy for you and so proud of you. So congratulations and thank you so much for being part of the ACA. Aranda is here. She says, I've made a blanket with not so good yarn and it was stiff and scratchy. Yeah, making a swatch before we actually make the thing, it can save us, right? It can save us because that way you can see a little swatch of the fabric. How does it feel? How does it, you know, kind of give it a tug a little bit? You know, again, go through those care instructions because that little swatch of fabric is going to tell you a lot about, you know, what the finished project is going to be like. So maybe, for example, if you would have made a little swatch first, you might have said, it's a little stiff. It's a little scratchy. Will some, you know, fabric softener and maybe some hot water or cold water, depending on the material, is that really going to help to soften this fabric as a whole? So again, swatching can really go a long way and it can tell us a lot of things. DePolly is here. Hello, my friend. So good to see you. Jerry Sue, she says, it's cold in Florida. Loretta is here. She says, good afternoon to everyone. Sherry Richards, she says, hello, my computer. Not letting me type or post comment. Well, it is now. Hopefully that's fixed. Loretta's here. She says, choose your yarn as if you're shopping for linens, quality over price. That is a great bit of feedback. Yeah, I like to feel my yarns, right? And I want to, you know, sometimes I need a stiff, scratchy yarn because maybe I'm making baskets or I'm making a rug or something like that. Sometimes I want soft yarn, but I don't want it to be stretchy because maybe I'm making a tank top or something like that. So there is no one right answer in terms of characteristics for yarn. It's all about what you need and what qualities do you need that yarn to be so that your project can have those qualities as well. But that's great advice. Thank you for sharing that. Aranda, she says, great advice. Thank you. My pleasure. DePolly, she says, thank you for the tips, Selena. My pleasure. Jerry Sue, my pleasure. You are welcome. And Sandy is here. Hello, Sandy. She says, just popping in. Was away this morning. Well, I hope you're having a great morning. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today on this Tip Tuesday. If you guys enjoyed this tip, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. If you guys have any questions about how to best care for your projects, let us know in the comments. Really, let's make this a fun conversation. And if you enjoyed this and you think this will help make a difference in the lives of other crocheters or people who enjoy yarn and make things with yarn, if you guys could either tag them in the comments or share this video in just one place where you enjoy crochet, we would really appreciate the support. All right, everyone, thank you so much for being here. We hope these tips today help you to make your best crochet projects ever. Not only that, but hopefully they will last for years and years and years to come. Peace, love, crochet, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.